Let's talk a little bit about one other person who resigned. So apparently she was also demoted from the shadow cabinet, but she was allowed to keep her brief until she resigned. It's Cat Smith. She tweeted, "It's been an honour to serve on the Labour front bench since 2015, but I'm looking forward to spending even more time at home here in Lancashire and standing up for my constituents." Then in the letter she said, "Although I am grateful for your offer to remain in my current brief, I have only been on the backbenches for 4 months in my 6.5 years as an MP, and I will instead be returning to the backbenches." So that my current brief there has been analysed by many people as suggesting she was told she could still work on youth engagement and voter registration, but she'd no longer be in the shadow cabinet. So she decided instead instead of taking that demotion to resign. And she also said, this is the interesting part, "You will be aware that we had a meeting scheduled for later this week during which I wanted to raise the issue of and my concerns about Jeremy not being readmitted to the Parliamentary Labour Party after he was readmitted into our party membership following due process. This position is utterly unsustainable, and it is important that you truly understand how much damage this is causing in constituency Labour parties and amongst ordinary members, a number of whom are no longer campaigning. You will also be aware that I am a long-standing advocate for proportional representation, and I am disappointed that we, as a party, have not adopted a position which I believe to be fundamentally fairer and very much in keeping with the views of my constituents." Ash, I'm guessing that Cat Smith was probably the last person in the shadow cabinet who had a strong opinion that Jeremy Corbyn should be let back into the PLP. Is it significant that she's now gone?
I think so. I think maybe what this shows is that there's a significant flaw in the stay and fight argument, which is while that might work at a CLP level and why that might be useful in terms of helping people who are on the left get through candidate selections, you don't have adequate representation within the shadow cabinet to stop Keir Starmer drifting to the right in terms of where he wants to, how he wants to fill shadow cabinet roles, breaking the promises that he got elected on, or even just offering basic due process and fairness to somebody like Jeremy Corbyn, his predecessor in the role, the man who was Labour leader when Keir Starmer was quite happy to be a member of his shadow cabinet, not once, but twice, who was responsible for the manifesto that Keir Starmer was happy to stand on in both 2017 and 2019. So I think that in terms of the stay and fight strategy, that is a weakness. There is a lack of leverage within the shadow cabinet and a lack of representation of left-wing views in earshot of Keir Starmer. In fact, he's surrounded by people who tell him that he's doing great only if he's seen to be bashing the left enough. So I don't think that Keir Starmer is going to take Cat Smith's resignation as any particular blow to his authority, because he's going to have people who are, part of that Blairite faction whispering in his ear saying the fact she's gone is great for you. She's no loss.